This is a mature period of my painting life, and at this point I don't take much for granted. But painting remains still a totally absorbing and mind-bending activity which has completely shaped and affected my life and actually continues to redefine me. I like to call my work love and affection in a hostile world. I am totally absorbed with and in my practice. This practice is still compelling and demanding. Sometimes it feels like a very, very petulant lover. So it isn't hard to use romantic terminology or diction about my relationship to painting or to my studio or my work. In my studio and my work, there are hard-running emotions, a completely love-hate relationship, dangerous actions and thoughts, and a lot of sacrificing for the sake of these paintings. I really don't believe that I would ever want a different kind of a life, as I've been well served. Not to appear arrogant, I think artists, for the most part, have their feet firmly planted in the world, and their eyes are very much wide open. However, at the same time, I feel I'm encased in some sort of bubble. You know, who am I making these paintings for? What am I adding to other people's lives? And mostly, why does being an artist make me feel so alive and yet so all alone at the same time? When Lanny Silverman was chief curator at the Chicago Cultural Center and did an exhibition of my work, he wrote, as part of the exhibition, a much longer statement. But this is one of my favorite parts. Bramson's ornate sense of spectacle, with her theatrical use of pattern, decorative elements, and filigree, recall historic notions of the Rococo, but revisited by an artist cognizant of postmodern strategies of appropriation and multiple points of view, as well as the irony embedded in such contemporary concepts as kitsch. His words are still very important to me because I really don't just make work totally going by my intuition or modernist conceits. The paintings have to have some conceptual heft, some visual thinking that I've worked hard to bring forward. Now, I don't think that really takes away from it at the other end of my paintings, that they be executed as beautifully as possible with wonder, a lot of wit, and quite a bit of intensity. I use images that are infused with lighthearted arbitrariness, amusing anecdotes about love and affection, in an often cold and hostile world. Mostly, I'm making work that percolates life's imperfections. You know, it just doesn't take decorum all that seriously. It doesn't separate matters of taste from larger questions about good behavior. The paintings are reactions to all sorts of sensuous events, from the casual encounter to highly formalized exchanges of lovemaking, and you could say everything in between. These are miniaturized schemes meandering among love, desire, pleasure, and tragedy, all channeled through seasonal changes, mostly burlesque-like and usually theatrical incidents that allow for both empathy and addled folly, while projecting capricious irritability with comic bumps along the way. I feel they are very luscious, albeit often quite overblown concoctions that become phantasmagoric shifts about desire, success, failure, faith, and mostly seduction. all intoxicatingly wrapped in my desire to project beauty. I think most visual memory starts with one's childhood, a notion that often really doesn't present itself all that obviously. This means that there are going to be visual memories, attitudes, and incidents that I feel are there to be mined and recalled. These then become portals to one's imagery, at least mine, that basically separates itself from another artist's imagery. For instance, I can recall a very, very exotic wallpaper in my childhood dining room that was filled with Chinese landscape and very unusual color, filled the total room, and was so elegantly pictorial. Added as well were semi-nude oriental sculptures and statues half-clothed, Spanish dancers with breasts bared, a nude bronze figurine perched on an onyx ashtray on top of an equally kitschy marble and gold metal end table. Well, nothing matched. It was a total mishmash of different figurines, paintings, and furniture. And they were mostly from my father's rather exotic taste and often brought home from my parents' travels. Then I would add voraciously reading Grimm's fairy tales on my parents' couch. Parents that totally encouraged and facilitated my art projects. And the fact that nothing interested me ever at school except for my art classes until I got to college. Throughout my painting career, I've also made sure to teach on the college level. This still remains a very important side of my practice. It's a way of giving back, keeping up, while I work with graduate students. A very big part of my teaching method is to show them how to process and think about their own work, that it has to have some authenticity, and that it is a significant part of being tied and tethered to their world.